Why you shouldn't buy car from acquaintances? And obvious answer will be just because you trust them. You trust for your relatives, you trust for your acquaintances. So when you buy car, Patrick's Garage. Grab your snack, welcome back. But when you buy a car, you should be really leery about all parts of this car. You never going to trust a seller when you buying car. Especially, you should be leery about car condition. Probably their managers even can't imagine in which condition car is. So anyway, when you buying car, you want to go to buy car with mechanic, which familiar to this particular model of this car, who knows all about these weak points of this particular model. And when you go to buy a car from relatives, from in the dealer center, and this is doesn't matter now, so you should be very leery. You shouldn't to check all the car with mechanic. And if they say, "Oh no, we don't want you go to us with your mechanic," go away. You don't want to buy a whole bunch of crap, old bucket. You never going to buy old bucket because this is a really expensive repair of the body. You know, probably not too rusty old car. Very hard to find car without rust. If this is a 50 years old car, yes, little bit rusty, but not too much. Main part frame, with hammer you can check the frame. If it crunchy, you don't want to buy crap. Go away right now. If this is, you see that this is scrappy and you don't want to welding this frame in all points where it rusty. A lot of cars with rusty frames and they not worthy to repairing them. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Click the subscribe button and notifications bell, so that way you can be notified as soon as I upload new videos about car repairing. Yes, at this short period of time you should check all the car. When I bought my car, I'm familiar for the Volvo 140 series and I know where on the frame can be cracks and the points where they will be rusty more often. And yes, considering all this condition that on the frame was not welded good under the firewall. This is part where frame goes away a little bit, cracks between frame and body. This is modern cars and our Volvo's 140 series. The frame and the body welded together. You can't separate the body and the frame. This is modern construction. This is just maybe for saving gasoline. Maybe this is more safer. General topic for today. We inclined to be more trusty to people which we familiar with. So we shouldn't trust to our relatives when we buying the car from them. My father-in-law bought the car from his uncle George. 140 series Volvo, which I repaired, which I welded. Now, so he bought this car from his uncle. Not good. Car really rusty frame. This is part, the frame which welded to the body. And engine was burning oil, a lot consumption, engine consuming a lot of oil. Worn piston rings, but yes, I have these piston rings, brand new piston rings. I don't know when I'm going to replace them, but engine burns oil. So in this condition, car was, yes, probably you can buy this car dirt cheap from relatives. You can get car for nothing sometimes, but doesn't matter. You will waste a whole bunch for repair if car in crappy condition. So this is for nothing. Later can turns out as a really expensive when you going to buy spare parts, paying for mechanics, probably welder if you don't want to doing this repair by own hands. So really cheap and even for nothing can be a really expensive later. Keep in mind this all of the time. When we buying something like car, we shouldn't to trust even relatives. We don't want to take old bucket. Probably will be except if you buy this car dirt cheap and you buy this for spare parts which you need for your car project when you restore your car. Yes, probably good decision to buy old rusty car for spare parts, but this is the story for itself. If you buy old car, you always, if you really need, you always can find defects, malfunctions. If this is especially Volvo models like my cars, they're 50 years old cars. What do you expect? 50 years old car. This can be rusty and it's an old car. What do you expect? One moment, we have a decision to buy a car from relatives in advance. Even the same feelings we have when we watching their offers from guys which selling cars online. We see beautiful picture, at the correct angle they make these pictures. So we see pictures and we have this decision in advance that we go and we going to buy this car, and we sure that we go to buy this car. We want to buy this car. We shouldn't be sure about anything in advance, but in the case with relatives, we trust them in advance. But we have to check all this car with mechanic. So we should be free to go with mechanic to buy the car. And considering all this is, I think that will be more worse idea to buy a car from acquaintances and from relatives also. Because we trust them, we shouldn't trust anybody when we buy anything. We have no warranty for used cars, for old cars, we never going to get warranty. They never will be under warranty if we buying them. When you have deals with relatives, your vigilance will decreasing. So you can't check the car completely, and you never going to do this because you buy a car from relatives. You don't have to do this. But it will be better to buy a car from unfamiliar persons. When we familiar with people, we trust them. If you buy new modern car, yes, it will be used car, but this is with all modern technologies. So you want to go with mechanic, with special scanning tool, here reading all these faults, and in summary He knows what that means. Even if you take these tools for that time, you have no experience how to understand these faults. Yes, one particular fault means what it means, but in summary, what this means probably camshaft worn, unevenly. They can be worn lobes of the camshaft. So, thing is, you should go to buy with mechanic who familiar with this particular model. It will be ideally, I think, but with mechanic, with general skills, you can go to buy these cars, even old cars. I'm personally never going to buy a car from my acquaintances, but they don't, they have no these cars what I'm interested in. So I'm not going to buy cars from them, from even from my relatives. They have no cars which I'm interested in. And as always, will be disclaimer that this is from my own experience. I'm just sharing my experience with you.